And boy, I really have to watch what I say. Um, Here I am. I'm here because everything else has not worked. And so I'm here, and I think this will record and keep. So, which my laptop has died. It won't let me charge. Nothing else is working. So, I don't know. That's a lot of signs from the universe to, um, I don't know, maybe not do this. So, and now my mind is blank. So I don't know. What am I here for? I'm here because, well, let's just talk. Um, so here I am. It's Tuesday morning. It's a beautiful day. Okay, let's talk about that. So yesterday it rained all day, which I knew it was going to rain. What I didn't know was that, and there's Kitty Witty. What I didn't know was that it was going to be tornadic winds last night for about 5 hours until 1 a.m. I mean, I'm surprised looking outside that there's no damage because it was massive wind. And it wasn't even a huge temperature change that would warrant that time. And I looked at the weather map and it literally looked like a hurricane going across the Midwest. And now it's moving toward, I don't know. And I just got this hit that Uten ain't happy. He's not happy. And I've seen this. I've experienced this before. This has happened every time there's some sort of strike against Putin. And as you know, President Biden enabled Ukraine to use certain type of missiles. I'm not an expert, so I don't know. But they asked him, and he finally said, "Okay," because he knows that they may not have the chance again, and this is their chance to do everything to have all the power they can to blitz this monster for entertainment purpose only. And by the way, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Hello, thanks for being here. I'm an intuitive. I'm mostly an intuitive, an empath intuitive, and I get very clear messages from spirit. And sometimes it's not good to have clear messages from spirit. I'm a creative. I'm a singer. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I'd rather do that. That's usually most of the time in my life how I've used my intuition is just through creative endeavor. But since we're in this hellscape, I've had to, I've gotten all these messages and have tried to save democracy. And as you can see, my channel is completely shadow banned. It has been for years. I've been here before most of the readers that you see on YouTube, but because I've been shadow banned, you probably may not know I existed. And if you do, then hey, I don't know how you got through. By some stroke of luck, you're here with me. Um, that doesn't mean I'm always right. What I do get right is energy and picking up on what people are doing. And so so the weather. I really felt Uten's, you know who that is, Uten with a P, his wrath. And other times when he has had his power challenged by us, right? Oh my God, the weather here in America goes insane. And I really feel that's that energetic, his emotions, his wrath. I felt it last night. It was extreme. I was literally putting out prayers and protection. I could hear the walls shift. I could hear banging and knocking on the house. It was crazy. It was like the wind was screaming. So, and that's, this morning. Okay, so before the election, right? For entertainment purpose only. Just some stupid intuitive thoughts and feelings here, not fact. Um, my dog got attacked the Saturday before the election, and I remember looking around and thinking something's off in the energy. There's some really negative. It was almost like if you could picture in your mind's eye shadow figures of like uh, black, dark, negative, angry, the anti-angels, the angels against the God's angels or the divine's angels. The angels that work against God, the divine, um, attacking us in every way to hurt us, bring us down, make us afraid, like the shield of God was being attacked. We, us light workers, were being attacked. And I find it interesting that on election night, I was doing everything I could, just like with the weather, to protect the election, and woke up like everyone else at 3, 4 a.m. and knew something was off, and knew that we had been robbed. And that's why I say, when I hear other intuitives come on, and I think they're afraid, right? They're afraid. And they say, well, I guess we were all wrong, and here's why we got it. No, we weren't wrong. We weren't wrong. Kamala won. Kamala won. She was robbed. So I'm going to do some anecdotal stories for you because to help illuminate this. This is how Spirit talks to me. I get messages, clear messages, but I also get them through symbols and music and like memories, movies, TV shows. So, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. And so if I ever got anything, it was a hand me down. And if I got anything new, that was rare. I hardly ever got money, like an allowance. Um, my sister would always get the new stuff. I'd get her hand me downs. We were so poor that my mother worked at the library in our small town, and she worked as a uh, multi service in the multi-service center handing out money to poor people in town and also food and government cheese, powdered milk, food vouchers, money vouchers, all that stuff. And sometimes people would bring in donations of clothing and food other than that. And she would bring home government cheese, powdered milk, etc. So I know what government cheese tastes like. It's like Velveeta, but not as good. I know what it's like to eat cereal that's three boxes of cereal that have been mixed together to make it look like a full box, and you eat powdered milk from the food kitchen. I know what that's like. So in town, in our town, she fronted as the person who helped the poor people when we were actually the poor people, and she would have to get IOUs from the cash box at work. And I remember being with her before she closed up the library, and she went into the cash box in the office, and she's gone now, so you can't arrest her for this. She was a single mother of three children. She went into the cash box in the file cabinet and she said, I, I hate to have to do this, but this is how we survive. And she wrote a note that said, I owe you $30. And she put it in the cash box and pulled out $30. And she said, and I'll replace it next payday. And then we went to the store and we got food for the week or for the weekend, whatever it was. So, long story short, we didn't have much. I, as the baby in the family and the second daughter, didn't get anything but hand me down. So one time she brought home a bag of clothing that someone in town had donated and nobody wanted, I guess, and she gave it to us. She brought it home. And my sister took all the girl clothes, and all that was left for me was boy clothes. I think this is why I'm slightly androgynous and whatever. So for the rest of grade school, I wore boy outfits. I remember I had green corduroy pants and a black long sleeve jersey, like a shirt, kind of like a t-shirt material, with a puffy, sparkly frog on the front. It was a boy's shirt. It was a boy's outfit, but we were so poor. That's what I had. That's what I had. I played with Barbies. I did all that, very girly, but that's the clothing I wore. And I started really to identify as a boy. So and I remember the autisticness in me. I would feel that puffy, sparkly frog on the chest all the time. And that's just to illuminate the story right here. So I kind of had a boy complex, right? So my mother said, well, you need a bike. You grew out of the old bike. That was a hand me down, by the way. She said, I'm going to buy you a new bike at Kmart. I think it was Kmart. It might have been Walmart. And I was like, wow, mom's going to buy me a new bike. I can't believe it. So we go, and I saw this one bike that it had like a desert scene painted on the rails, the handlebar and the rail bar, whatever. And you know how girls' bikes have the bar that looks very uncomfortable? Isn't that right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the opposite, but there's a bar there, and I'm like, why would they put that bar there? Boys' bikes don't have the bar, right? The girls do, or vice versa. Anyway, I didn't look at the pretty pink bike down there with the sparkler things on the handlebars. I saw this brown boy's bike, like a dirt bike, and my mind said, get that because mother probably won't get you the pink one, the girl one, but get this one. That's a cool bike. She said, are you sure you want that? That's a boy's bike. And I was like, yeah, I want that. I want that. So she buys me the boy's bike. And I ride it around, and there was this thing where we used to go into the forest down the road, and we had a hill. We lived on a hill. We'd go down, and then the forest had a hill that would go up. and we would do this challenge where we'd go up the steep hill, and whoever could make it was like this dirt bike challenge king, queen. So it was good to have a boys' bike. Um, well, I was a girl, and I was the youngest. And so anyway, I was proud of that bike. It wasn't a girl's bike; it was a boy's bike, but that's okay. So, and I'm going to run out of batteries, so I have to fix that in a second. Anyway, so I um, go to the library. My mother's at work. I park my bike out on the front door, outside the front door. You can't bring it in, obviously. And then I see these boys outside the door crowding around my bike. It's clearly my bike. Nobody else had that bike. So I go out there and I say, "What are you doing with my bike?" And they said, "Your bike? This is my brother Sam's bike." And they have shifty eyes. And I'm like, "No, I rode it here. I parked it here. This is my bike. It can't be your bike. It's a boy's bike." And I was like, "It's my bike." And I realized in that moment they had been about to steal my bike and were going to ride away with it. But I stood up for myself. I stood up for myself. And I said, "Don't steal this. You're not going to steal this from me. This is my bike." And they walked away. And so, long story short, this is a story that Spirit showed me that Kamala is having this moment where she has been robbed and she can stand up for herself, as I wrote in my community post, or she could let it go. She could let all these votes, 30 million plus votes, including mine and my daughter's, she could let it all go, let them steal it. They stole it for entertainment purpose only, but they stole it. Or she could stand there like I had to as a little girl and fight for it, like a boy, like a man. And she has that in her, but she's also been inbred in her with the law to follow the law so closely, so obediently. Um, and she doesn't want to look like them, the other side, who clearly does not follow the law. They make their own laws. They're making their own laws. Kamala's going to have to um, push really hard for her rights. She was robbed. She was robbed. We were robbed. And so that's the story that Spirit showed me, the time when the boys were gonna steal my bike, and I had to stand there and look them straight in the eye and sit and not be gaslit. Everybody left me. Everybody left me. But you gotta do that. And I have a couple other stories. Hold on, my battery's gonna die as usual. So let's see if I can make this work. I tell you, there are forces at work that do not want me to do this and talk. Let's hope this stays on. So another story. Um, we were in junior high. My sister, some boys tried to steal my sister's purse. Oh no, he stole her purse. My mother found out there was a campground, and so she located the boy, talked to his parents, made the boy come to our house, deliver the purse and her billfold with the checks, and made him stand in the front entryway of our house and look my sister in the eye, apologize for stealing her purse. And we don't do that anymore. People don't do that anymore. I think that we don't like the feeling of holding people accountable. And so Kamala has this option to hold these people accountable or let it go. So what does letting it go mean? That means, what's my computer doing? Oh God. Why does it trust this device? It says trust. I hope it's charging. Well, anyway, you guys pray for me because I have had so much trouble trying to make videos and talk on this channel. And you can see how frustrating it is and how it interrupts me. So even when I do get on, it's almost impossible for me to deliver my message. I'm not quite in my comfort zone here. It's like getting in my throat where I have my anxiety and my thyroid, and it's making it really hard for me to think. I can't even access my file that I wrote up all about the election. But here, I'll just go into this, okay? So here's my whole thing about the election. For entertainment purposes only. So this whole thing from 2022 where Polymarket showed a map, and they said, and they have their Bitcoin betting and all that stuff. And who uses Bitcoin, by the way? What country uses Bitcoin? And Lelon Lusk, he uses Bitcoin. Well, anyway, Polymarket. This has been going on since 2022. Um, it's doing weird. This is doing weird thing. I may not be able to stay on long again. The forces that be are not letting me talk. This is so frustrating. This might be the end of my channel, to be honest. I don't know if I can keep doing this. This is so stressful. My laptop's dead. I can't even do this. This is so frustrating. Anyway, they showed the map. 2022, they showed the map. This is what's going to happen with the election. This is exactly what's going to happen with the election. We can predict elections better, more accurately than the pollsters now. So forget Alan Lichtman, right, who's been doing this his whole life. He knows all the keys. He knows all that. He knows how the electoral votes should go. He sees how people are polling. He sees how people are going to rallies and how the money, the donations, etc., etc. He sees how the trends are. He knows all the keys. Polymarket in 2022 showing a map saying this is how it's going to be, and we can predict better than pollsters now. And then magically, the election results in 2022, which are the primaries, match exactly to a T their map. Same thing happened again this time. And then that whole thing where Elon Musk says, "Oh, I know the results 4 hours before," and magically, boom, 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 45 winning all over the place, pop, 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 pop before 8 p.m. Map before, map after, exact mundo. They are they're using AI, and I said this the day after the election. I said Elon Musk is using AI to manipulate and architect, like someone on Roller Coaster Tycoon or Tycoon Builder, those old games. He's architecting, he's manipulating, AIing elections. It's like Chat GPT, where some kid has a report for a school and says, "This is what I need in my report." Bing, bing, boom, report. There's a plane confirming this. This is how it works. This is what they did for entertainment purposes only. They used AI technology, Chat GPT technology, to exactly plan out, map out the exact results of the election. So people are like, well, the voting machines are connected to the internet. Not exactly. They are, and they have modems. Now, Washington State said our voting machines are not connected to the internet, and I believe that, and that's why they had burning ballot boxes everywhere because Elon Musk could not get to their voting machines. I'm telling you, he planned it out, mapped it out. AI, yes, Starlink, bing, bang, boom, all mapped out. WizKid, computer AI guy, mapped it out with Polymarket, betting money, Bitcoin, Uten, connection. Go look at 2022, same thing. We had warning. We had warning. We've had warning. We've had years to work on this. So, okay, so Pennsylvania. I may be gone in any second because my phone may die. Pennsylvania, we have this McCormick thing. It's contentious. It's very close. They're allowed, the Democrats are allowed to do a recount. I would suggest a hand recount. But what this does, this allows us to see the difference between election night shenanigans with the tabulators and Elon Musk and his AI polymarket election. We get to see what the difference is when you have real ballots, paper ballots counted compared to the results that were from November 5th. Big difference. And then Kamala can say, see, we need to have recounts in all the swing states because there's a huge difference here. Why is it that all the down ballot choices were picked on ballots but my votes aren't showing up? Why is it that 45s all showed up and all his down ballots didn't? Why was it architected so close, so perfectly AI polymarket map for entertainment purposes only? This was all mapped out perfectly. It was all pre-planned for entertainment purpose only. But Pennsylvania will give her that. Now, Republicans are already going in there. Like 12 Republicans are having 12 lawsuits to stop the do not have a recount. They had recounts up to Yahoo from 2020. They had Carrie Lake, 45, and Giuliani. They went all over the place. Recount, recount, and they didn't have time limits. Um, but Pennsylvania is the place where they will find that there's a huge difference in the paper ballot votes tabulations and the computer voting machine tabulation. And I said cheat code. I said AI cheat code. 6 to 8 p.m. November 5th. Votes went in. Certain keys met, and a whole bunch. And then poof, you didn't vote. You didn't. People like me, you didn't vote. We did. They counted our down ballot choices, but not Kamala. So they did count our ballots, but it went poof in Elon's system. That's where he messed up. But we have to count those paper ballots. Again, this is all for entertainment purposes only. And the last thing I'll say is I think that Elon has a God simulator that he's played around with. And I think that they used it on the election night. And I think he turns it off and on, and he has fun with that. I think he has, and I've said this for years, I think he has like AI brain. I know it's crazy for entertainment purpose only. Don't hold me to this one. This is a theory, okay? I feel like he has a God simulator. It's really dark God. It's not the real God, obviously. It can't ever be the real God or divine or whatever, which is really inside of us. It's the light inside of us. But I feel like he has like things that read algorithms in the mind. And so when you think of something like, oh, I think I want to have a green jello, a cup of green jello with pear cubes in it, and then you open up YouTube and what's the first thing you see? Green jello with pear cubes. Come to Walmart and buy green jello with pear cubes. And you go, what the? That's because he has this AI algorithm crap and why he has his Starlink all over. I swear to God, he has a God simulator up there. And so when you manifest stuff, and sometimes it gets all jacked up. That's all just a theory. Anyway, the election thing is not a theory. It's for entertainment purpose only, but it's not a theory. Is what Spirit has shown me.